All right, everybody, the time is finally here. You all have demanded that I redo my starter guides for each Splinter because the starter cards have changed. My old starter guides are pretty much obsolete now. We need some new ones, so it's time to get back to that series. So you're gonna see one video here for each Splinter, and we are starting off with Fire, because Fire is now my favorite Splinter early on. I believe this is the best Splinter to play if you want to do well with a very minimal investment. So you guys may have seen me on my last live stream. I really struggled with the starter cards in bronze. It really felt like it was a rock paper scissors match, going especially with Earth, Death, and Water. It was like Earth beats water and water beats death and death beats earth with kind of those common teams, and it just felt like it was a rock paper scissors match of which I chose, which my opponents chose, and I honestly did the best with Fire. And now that I've added on just a couple cards, I'm going to show you what these are here in just a second. Now that I've added on a couple cards, it's made a huge difference, and now I've climbed easily through bronze 3, through bronze 2. I'm approaching silver now, and I think I'll be able to get into silver pretty easily here. So let's go. Let's take a look. What are the cards that I added? I added just a few cards, and really these first two have made a big difference. Uraeus here, and then our Elven Cutthroat are fairly cheap. You can rent them for half a DEC per day. And they have made a big difference because it really feels like in bronze that it's kind of a sneak meta. There are a lot of, each Splinter has some good sneak cards, and adding these neutral sneak cards in there really gives you a lot of options. There's not a lot of people playing sneak counters in bronze, and at least not yet. Maybe this video will change that, I don't know. But and honestly, there's not a lot of sneak counters in bronze because a lot of those cards don't get those abilities to counter sneak until later on. So it can be kind of tough. You absolutely can do it, but you don't really see a lot of it. And again, each Splinter has their own sneak cards. So adding some neutral cards really helps. Oh, by the way, Sandworm is not on this list, mainly because we don't see a lot of high mana battles in bronze, but in those high mana battles, Sandworm is very good. He's also fairly cheap, so that's another card you could add to this list, another neutral sneak card. But okay, what's going to be the best Splinter to use sneak with? Well, it makes sense for Tarsa because you've got that extra +1 attack. So you'll see, again, you've got 3 sneak cards on this list. They all have 1 attack. +1 attack doubles their attack. That's a very big deal, and I really like Tarsa there. Tusk the Wide in the middle here might be something that might not be obvious, but you can see that Void. A lot of people like to use Living Lava. There are some other tank options. Tusk the Wide was great for me because it allowed me to kind of hedge against seeing a magic team. If I saw a magic team, having that Void just was a flat stop against it, and most other things I could get around. When I played Living Lava, sometimes I had some problems with a good magic team. Now, I mean, some of the magic teams using just the base cards with no additions, I still didn't have any problems with, but some of the other ones I did. So some of the upgraded ones I did, Tusk the White kind of put a stop to that. Scorch Fiend gets a little more expensive, but a 0 mana card is a big deal for any of your Splinters, okay? If you're able to throw in that expense in there, he's going to make a big difference, no doubt about it. And then Cobalt Miner's another sneak card. So we're basically going with a Fire sneak team here is what we are looking at. So let's go over here and let's get to some of the battles. And there's actually a very specific order I kind of put these in, kind of fell into an order that I like. And that was putting Uraeus here at the back because he has that armor. And again, I've mentioned that it feels like there's kind of a sneak meta. So you're going to see a lot of sneak teams thrown at you. Having that armor in the back is very big. Being able to take that extra attack is very helpful. And then I like to put Cutthroat in front of Spy. Also the same with Fiend if you have Fiend. This right here would work even without Fiend, if you wanted to cut that expense, because I know he is a little bit more expensive. But again, still not that bad to rent. Again, only what was it, one something DEC per day. So still fairly cheap, and you will be earning that back as you climb up through bronze. But the reason I have these in front of Spy is because opportunity is also big. You've got Serpentine Spy here. Pretty much every fire team is going to throw Serpentine Spy in there, and we don't want to take the risk on that coin flip. If my Serpentine Spy is up here up front, their Spy can take it out if he wins the coin flip and goes first. By putting Elven Cutthroat, and again, if you have Fiend in there, Cutthroat will take that hit from Serpentine Spy, which, I mean, in this case, it wouldn't matter because Spy is at the back. But I mean, Spy does have, our Spy has more damage, and Opportunity tends to be a little bit better than Sneak, so we'd rather protect Spy. So that's why Cutthroat is in front there. Hopefully that makes sense. And then we'll just kind of run this battle here. Didn't necessarily mean to go 3 times speed, but you can see theirs went first. But because I had a Fiend, he wasn't able to take out any of my actual attackers. And we're able to do so much damage going through the back. You see, Urace was able to take 2 sneak hits, which again is a pretty significant deal if you're going up against some sort of sneak, which is a very good chance you will be. So I really like him in the back with that extra armor. So there's a first fire. There's kind of a mirror match with fire. Here's one against. Let's go back to 2 times speed. Up against one of our magic earth teams. Now I wish I could have shown one that had more magical attack. This was fairly low mana, so they couldn't get too much in here. But you can just see how magical attack's not a threat. Just not a threat at all. When you've got Tusk the Wide up here, he works so well and is very good against the Obsidian teams. Works like a charm. All right, on to the next one here. Okay, we're gonna look at another, and again, so I showed Living Lava up front last time, so I wanted to show another battle here. I've got everything set on 3 times speed. I was trying to go through these battles quick to find some to show you guys. But having Tusk the White, even though we didn't face a magic team, he's still a decent tank up front, and he's a little bit cheaper than Living Lava. So yeah, in hindsight, maybe I'd rather have the Living Lava there, but we still have enough sneak damage. Because again, we've got 4 either sneak or opportunity attackers there that can just get through anything that they've got faster. And yeah, we had some extra armor for Serpentine Spy to absorb their Serpentine Spy hit. But again, I put somebody in front of Serpentine Spy that would take those opportunity hits. Just in case they had multiple ones out there, or if it took us a while to get to their Spy or whatever the case is. So I wanted to make sure there was a non-damage dealer that was taking hits there. This battle was a little weird because we've got armored up, but still I think you can see that this was just an overwhelming mirror match victory there. So on to another Obsidian team. And again, this is a fairly common Obsidian team that we see, and I wanted to show that how even with Living Lava, so I didn't have that void, this sneak team can still work extremely well because we just have so much damage out there. You can see we've got a total of 2, 4, 7 sneak damage plus 3 opportunity damage. And it's only 25 mana. It's not like it's a high mana battle or anything like that. We were still able to get a good tank up there. Now, okay, Living Lava's not a good tank against magic, but it was still enough. It was still enough. And then I'm gonna show a death team as well because I didn't face many death teams. It was actually kind of surprising. I was facing all Obsidians and Tarsas when I was going through trying to test these, but I did find a couple death teams to face because you do. Again, on stream, we saw quite a few of them, and it works pretty well because your base death only has, depending on how much mana is in there, but a lot of times only has that 1 sneak attack, maybe 2. But if there's enough mana that they're getting 2 in there, we're going to be able to get several more. So going up against just the base cards, even with that Thorns was certainly a pain, but it wasn't enough of a problem. We were still able to get through it. So adding just these very small upgrades, going up against a base level death team, it's no contest. It's no contest. You're going to win those a lot of the time. Now, if you get up against a more upgraded death team, that can pose some problems in some different ways, and you might have to make some changes. But it can still work very well. Even some of the stronger death teams, I still think I'll be able to win fine against. This is the team that Fire struggles against because of that shield and that extra speed and being able to add multiple opportunity characters in there. So I was able to get some wins I found that going up against a water team that had just the base cards, I didn't have any problems because I was able to get enough sneak in there to actually just overwhelm them and overwhelm that armor, and it wasn't a problem as they get a little carried away there. They get a little carried away. But when I started going up against some of the more upgraded teams, the upgraded water squads, I did start to struggle there. So that does feel like it can be a counter. Again, I'll show one the opposite way here, as I correctly predicted my opponent was going to run a Tarsa team here, and I was able to counter that. Got some dodges. I mean, you get a lot of dodge on this team with the flying, with the dodge. This team's fairly fast with the extra speed, and that's one way. If you're trying to if you're going the other way and you're trying to beat this fire squad, I like this one. I like this option quite a bit. So I didn't really face any. Honestly, didn't face a lot of life teams. Life seems to be neglected, and I think I kind of neglected it on my stream the other day too. And then I started using it, and I actually got a few wins. And I think they might be a little overlooked because they have some different options. They can throw in some. They can throw in a taunt. They can throw in a repair, even with the base level cards. So that can sometimes pose some problems. But I didn't get to go up against any to really test it out. So it's still very early. We are still very early in all this new chaos stuff, okay? So I think it's probably too early to say, yes, this is absolutely going to be the best team to start with months from now, because things can change and who knows what's going to happen. But right now, this is the team that I like best at bronze. After playing several hours over the last several days, this is the team that I've come up with that I like the best, and I feel like has the most versatility to beat different teams. It's not, again, I don't feel like you can just get this team and spam fire and climb easily through bronze. You can, I mean, you probably could climb fairly decently, but you're going to see a lot of pushback. There are some counters out there that can stop this team. So it's not just like an instant win team or anything where, okay, you can just go get these cards and not pay attention or anything like that. You still have to learn what you're doing, and you still are probably going to want to have multiple splinters, especially, I mean, as you climb, fire could be banned. You might need multiple splinters anyways. But this is my favorite one so far. So let me guys know what you think. Go grab some of these cards. Go try it out. I know a lot of people have been struggling in bronze. I went through the Discord the other day, kind of looking to see where people are at. Who was having what type of luck in bronze and all of that, and a lot of people that had climbed to silver before chaos was here were really struggling to climb to silver, and kind of looked like I did on my live stream the other day. And I think this should really help. I think this should give people a nice little boost, allow them to climb to bronze too, where you can get some earnings, and then obviously the goal is to ultimately get to silver, where your earnings really start to pick up and you can get your better loot chest and that thing. And I think this will help. I think this can absolutely help some people climb. So try it out. Let me know what you think, and stay tuned. We've got more splinters to cover. I'm not just showing my favorite splinter. We're gonna tackle all of them over the next week or so, or however long it takes me to get to them. So make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming. Thanks, guys.